Good evening. You're watching Super 6 here on India Today. I'm Akshita Nandagopal. Over the next 1 hour, getting you all the top stories of the day. First 30 minutes, we'll be focusing on the latest updates on the India-Pak tensions in the aftermath of the Pahalgam terror attack. Let me just quickly round you through the 6 stories that we'll be tracking over the next 60 minutes. Story number one is the politics that's playing out of the Pahalgam terror attack. This particular video of Ajay Rai, UP Congress chief, holding up a toy jet mocking the government has led to outrage, the BJP lashing out at the Congress, and this clip picked up by Pakistani channels too to spread their propaganda. We'll get you details of the political fight and whether the time has come for us to keep politics aside. Let's get you story number 2. This is an India Today exclusive. We've been talking about OGWs, overground workers, locals essentially aiding terrorists. In light of many of these OGWs being arrested in Pahalgam, we've spoken to a former overground worker who exposes how locals, these OGWs, actually help foreign terrorists. That exclusive coming your way. And speaking of OGWs, a terror suspect has in fact drowned after he was nabbed by the police. There's a big showdown over this, and that's because you've got claims, counterclaims coming in. His family claiming this was a case of a custodial death. We'll get you details on that as well. And 6:30 p.m. we'll be getting you all the other top stories of the day. What's happening in the Mangaluru case, the murder of ex-Bajrang Dal member Suhas Shetty. It turns out it's a case of revenge killing. All the latest twists and turns that have emerged in the investigation, the politics, we'll be getting you all of that. Story number 5 here on Super 6 will be the Sonu Nigam controversy. At a concert in Bengaluru, Sonu Nigam lashed out at people who are asking him to sing in Kannada. He claims he was being threatened. There's an FIR now against him. We'll tell you what exactly is the case against the singer, what transpired in that event that's now blown up into a huge talking point in Karnataka. And finally, as always, we'll get you the big sports stories of the day. Sunil Gavaskar wants India to sideline Pakistan for the upcoming Asia Cup, and it's triggered a storm. But should we actually be doing that? We'll talk about that also at 6:45 this evening. Let's begin with a news break coming in right now at the PMO, the Prime Minister's office. There are back-to-back security meetings that are taking place. The Prime Minister himself is there. There's a meeting with the Home Secretary at the PMO. This comes after the Prime Minister met with the Defence Secretary R.K. Singh and then met with the NSA Ajit Doval as well. Currently, Prime Minister Modi is meeting with the Home Secretary at the PMO. So non-stop meetings that have happened today alone in the last many hours. The Prime Minister has been holding a slew of one-on-one meetings. Right now, he's at the PMO where he's meeting with the Home Secretary. And I'd like to bring in Piyush Mishra for more details on this. Piyush, all of this only adding to the speculation of what the government is planning to do. What kind of action could they take next against Pakistan? 3 one-on-one meetings, each extremely crucial with regards to the government's response to Pakistan.
Well, certainly, Akshita, as we are speaking, series of meetings are taking place at Prime Minister office. Right behind me is the Prime Minister office where these meetings are underway. You can see as to how the movements are taking place. The security officials are also taking round of the Raisina Hills where this meeting is right now going on. PM Narendra Modi had reached here around 45 minutes back, and the moment he reached, we saw NSA Ajit Doval reaching here, and a couple of minutes back, NSA Ajit Doval has left from Prime Minister office, and now a couple of minutes back, Home Secretary, in fact, the Home Secretary has also reached. So series of meetings are taking place at Prime Minister office, being chaired by PM Narendra Modi. Remember that in the last few days, PM Narendra Modi has chaired multiple meetings. He had cut short his Saudi Arabia visit, and after that, he was when he landed in Delhi, he was briefed by NSA Ajit Doval, Foreign Minister S. Shankar, Vikram Misri, Foreign Secretary was also present, and after that he chaired CCS, and multiple meetings have been chaired by PM Narendra Modi in the last 13 days. And today itself he met with the Defense Secretary, and now as we are speaking he is meeting with Home Secretary. And
just some more information to add to what Piyush is telling you, and Piyush, just stay with me. Sources are telling us that in this series of meetings that are lined up at the PMO, there is a discussion on the current situation on the ground to also gauge the progress made so far in hunting down the terrorists involved in the Pahalgam terror attack. But also importantly, the Prime Minister is holding these meetings to decide what should be the next course of action against Pakistan. What's very clear here, Piyush, is, while everyone's been talking about retaliation, military action against Pakistan, you're seeing a multi-pronged approach by the government, saying we will attack and target Pakistan in every way we can, diplomatically, digitally. We're seeing action like the Indus Waters Treaty. So it looks like it's to figure out what's the next step, what's the next crackdown, that these meetings are being held.
Well, certainly, these officials are also briefing Prime Minister about the preparedness those have been done so far. Today, Defense Secretary also, according to reports, the Defense Secretary also, briefed Prime Minister about the preparations those have been done. NSA Jitobal has also briefed Prime Minister, and yesterday, Air Force Chief had also met with Prime Minister, where he has also reportedly briefed Prime Minister about the preparations those have been done. So, multi-pronged strategy is being adopted by India as far as retaliating back at Pakistan is concerned. Why? Because one thing is clear that, message is clear that yes, we will take actions against the Pak-sponsored terrorism. Prime Minister himself for at least 2 times has made it very clear that strongest possible actions will be taken. The terrorists will be hunted down, they will be tracked, and then they will be punished. In fact, their handlers will also be taken to the task. The kind of messages which Prime Minister is sending out certainly shows that this time country wants to settle terrorism once and for all, and that is why we are seeing how series of meetings are taking place. Prime Minister is being briefed about the preparedness of our armed forces. A couple of days back, Prime Minister also met with all tri-service chief, in which Defence Minister Rajnath Singh was also present, NSA was also there, and soon after that meet, a message was out that yes, everything is now left to the security forces. Time, mode and target will be decided by the forces. For that, we are now seeing as to how the preparations are going on, and on these preparations, these meetings are also being chaired by PM Narendra Modi.
Okay, Piyush, we're going to keep tracking the big takeaways of these huddles. Thanks for the moment for joining us. Back-to-back meetings, and we've been seeing this trend really for the last many days since the Pahalgam attack, that the Prime Minister has personally been finding out the details of what's happening on ground and also how to hit back at Pakistan. We'll continue tracking the latest on those meetings. It's been 13 days, remember, since the dastardly terror attack in Pahalgam. The nation is speaking in one voice for justice. There are some, however, who are giving fodder to Pakistan to mock India. Ajay Rai, a senior Congress leader, head of the UP Congress, questioned the government on why there's been no response. Fair enough. He belongs to the opposition party. He has the right to question the government. But here's how he chose to criticize. With this particular footage, he held up a toy jet, claimed it's the Rafale, put a lemon on it, chilies on it to mock the defense minister. This is how Ajay Rai has criticized the government, questioned why the Rafale hasn't been used against Pakistan. So this video that you see, along with which, by the way, there's a statement which will play out for you in just a bit. This video of him holding up a toy jet with lemon and chilies is being used widely now by Pakistani channels for their own propaganda against India. Why? Because it suits their narrative that you've got someone within Indian soil going ahead and mocking the government in this manner. Let's get you all the details first in our report on what Ajay Rai said and the reactions that have come in.
India ready to punish Pakistan Pahalgam savagery. Indian war machines in full operational readiness. But Congress chief in Uttar Pradesh Ajay Rai launching a political attack. Posing with a miniature Rafale toy jet with Nimbu Mirchi attached to it. Taunting government over what he called delay in airstrikes on Pakistan.
अब राफेल ले आए, नींबू मिर्च बांधकर खड़ी किए हुए हैं। आपको याद होगा, मैंने नहीं बांधा है, वो बांधा है, इस केंद्र की सरकार ने बांधा है। रक्षा मंत्री ने नींबू मिर्च बांधकर खड़ा किया हुआ है। ये किस जो लाए हैं उसका उपयोग कब होगा? कब आतंकवादियों को सफाया होगा, कब आतंकवाद को बढ़ावा देने वाले लोगों को सफाया करेंगे?
A defined Ajay Rai referred to past Shastra Puja ritual by Defence Minister Rajnath Singh before inducting Rafale jets into Air Force.
ये जरूर ये पूरे देश की जनता जानना चाहती है कि आप इस पर कठोर कार्रवाई कब करेंगे, और केवल बड़ी बड़ी बात बोलकर, केवल लोगों को एक आश्वासन देकर कब तक आप जो है लोगों को फुसलाते रहेंगे?
The Congress Rafale stunt ended by serving as propaganda tool for Pakistan. BJP launched a blistering attack on Congress, accusing it of demoralizing the forces and serving as Pakistani poster boys.
जैसे पाकिस्तान यहां पर गतिविधियां करता है और ऑफिशियली ये स्टैंड रखता है कि उसका उनसे कोई लेना देना नहीं है, ठीक उसी प्रकार कांग्रेस और इंडी गठबंधन का ऑफिशियल स्टैंड रहता है कि हम सरकार के साथ हैं, और उनके नेता निरंतर ऐसे बयान देते रहते हैं।
कांग्रेस खुद एक मजाक बन के रह गई है। राहुल गांधी जी को राफेल पर पहले भी सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने लताड़ लगाई, और कांग्रेस के नेताओं को याद रखना चाहिए कि ये जो इस तरह के मजाक करते हैं, बार बार इनको कोर्ट में जाकर लताड़ ही मिलती है।
Congress and allies, however, defended Ajay Rai and the Rafale toy attack.
पूरा देश आपके साथ खड़ा है, आप एक्शन लीजिए। ये दिखाई देना चाहिए कि एक्शन हुआ है। अब तो मौका है, अब इससे ज़्यादा और मौका क्या होगा? उसकी नींबू मिर्च हटा दीजिए। इतना पैसा खर्च कर अगर हमने कोई हथियार खरीदा है तो उसको इस्तेमाल भी तो किया जाना चाहिए कि उस पर जंग लगाने के लिए खड़ा किया है।
The government had earlier given full operational freedom to forces to plan and execute India's response to Pakistan. Should netas tone down Pahalgam rhetoric and trust our armed personnel? Bureau Report, India Today.
Okay, let me bring in Rahul Gautam on this broadcast. He tracks the Congress for us closely. Rahul, with every passing day, you have these kind of irresponsible, loose comments being made by Congress leaders that actually dents the party stand, which is actually very mature. The party stand has been very clear that we are with the government on this. But then you have one comment after another that adds to this and fuels this entire controversy, needless statements at that. Having said that, Rahul, considering that the High Command has made their stand very, very clear, has that message not seeped down to Congress leaders? Why is it that the likes of Ajay Rai gets away with making these comments?
Well, Akshita, there is a saying, penny wise, pound foolish. Although Congress party has issued a statement, they have passed a resolution in the CWC, which is the highest decision-making body, which clearly states that whatever action government is going to take, they're going to stand by it and they're going to support that action 100%. In fact, this matter was also brought in before Priyanka Gandhi, and she spoke on record that the Congress stand is what has been already reflected in the CWC, and in fact, a circular has also been issued. But it seems that the likes of Charanjit Singh Channi, Vijay Vadattiyar, Ajay Rai, all these leaders are only puncturing that narrative or that stand that has been taken by Congress party, and it is only harming the very image of Congress party. We all know that how Rahul Gandhi also held a press conference, and in fact he also vowed support, full support to government. But it seems that Charanjit Singh Channi and many other leaders, by deviating from party's line, not just by making these sarcastic remarks and taking jibes on government and also on the on our military capabilities, this is only giving ammunition and cannon fodder to the BJP, which is now dubbing this as anti-India or pro-Pakistan stance, which they are attributing to Congress party. So clearly, it seems that although Congress is trying to put a narrative before the nation at this crucial juncture, but it seems that its own leaders are only putting Congress party in a very tight and embarrassing spot.
Very true. You know, the Congress struggling now to bring their own netas under control, because you've got one comment after another coming in. Thanks, Rahul, for joining us with those details. What do I mean by that? That is not just Ajay Rai. There's unfortunately been a long list of Congress leaders in the last 13 days who've been making headlines for all the wrong reasons. One controversial comment after another, one jibe after another. It started with Siddaramaiah, the Karnataka Chief Minister. Then you had a Karnataka minister questioning the claims that, you know, terrorists singled out and targeted Hindus. That was also backed by Vijay Wadetiwar, another senior Congress leader from Maharashtra, who backed that particular comment, saying terrorists didn't target people based on their religion. Then you had Chani just a few days ago repeating what the Congress has already burnt its fingers over, saying there's no proof of surgical strikes. I want you to listen to each one of these comments that have come in the last many days.
ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾದಂತ ಅಗತ್ಯ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಬಿಗಿ ಕ್ರಮಗಳು ತಗೋಬೇಕು ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಭದ್ರತಾ ವ್ಯವಸ್ಥೆಯನ್ನ ಬಿಗಿ ಮಾಡತಕ್ಕಂತ ಕೆಲಸವನ್ನ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ನಾವು ವಿದ್ಯುತ್ ಪರ ಇಲ್ಲ. ನಾವು ಶಾಂತಿ ಇರಬೇಕು, ಜನರಿಗೆ ಭದ್ರತೆ ಇರಬೇಕು. ಕೇಂದ್ರ ಸರ್ಕಾರ ಭದ್ರತಾ ಕ್ರಮಗಳನ್ನು ತಗೋಬೇಕು.
ಯಾರ ನೀವು ಹೊಡೆದು ಓಡಿ ಹೋಗ ಜಾತಿ ಕೇಳ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೊಡೆಯಕ್ಕಾಗತ್ತೇನ? ನೀನೇ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟಿಕಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡಿ. ಹೊಡಬಿಡಂಗೆ ಹೊಡಿತಾನೆ, ಓಡಿ ಹೋಗ್ತಾನೆ. ಅವನು ನಿಂತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಕೇಳಿ ಹೊಡೆಯಟ್ಟು ವ್ಯವಧಾನ ಯಾರಿಗಿರೋದು? ನೋಡಿ, ಇದನ್ನ ಏನೇ ಇದ್ರು ನಾವು ಈ ರಾಷ್ಟ್ರದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ದುಃಖಿತರಾಗಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ಅದನ್ನು ಧರ್ಮಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋದ ಹಚ್ಚಿ ಅದ್ರ ಲಾಭ ತಗೊಳ್ಳುವಂತ ಹುನ್ನಾರ ಏನು ನಡೀತಿದೆ, ಇದು ಆಗಬಾರ್ದು.
इतने 200 किलोमीटर तक लोग अंदर आके अतिरेकी घुस जाते हैं, तो तुम्हारा इंटेलिजेंस क्या कर रहा था? वो फेल्योर नहीं है, इस सरकार का फेल्योर नहीं है. इस बारे में कोई बात नहीं करता. बात क्या करते हैं? तो उन्होंने हिंदू का पूछ कर मारा. अरे कोई टेररिस्ट को पूछने तक समय होता है क्या? उनके कान में जाके नज़दीक जाके पूछेगा? ये सब जो बातें हैं, बहुत सारे इसमें कंट्रोवर्शियल, कोई बोलता है ऐसा हुआ ही नहीं, कोई बोलते ऐसा हुआ है. ये प्लान करके मत करो. टेररिस्ट है, उसको कोई जात धर्म नहीं होता है, उसके साथ में ऐसा मत करो. और उसको सीधा से सीधा उनको पकड़ के कार्रवाई करो. यही देश के वासियों की भावना है.
पता नहीं चला मुझे तो कहाँ स्ट्राइक हुए हैं, कहाँ बंदे मारे गए थे उस समय, कहाँ वहां पाकिस्तान में हुआ था. हमारे देश में आकर कोई बम गिरे, पता नहीं चलेगा. कहते जी पाकिस्तान में हमने सर्जिकल स्ट्राइक किए थे. कोई कुछ नहीं हुआ, कहीं नहीं दिखे सर्जिकल स्ट्राइक, किसी को नहीं पता चला.
So those are the comments that have come in from Congress leaders. The High Command, meanwhile, has been forced to step in repeatedly, attempt damage control after all of these comments, and yet they haven't cracked the whip per se on any of these netas. Priyanka Gandhi this time attempted to play down Ajay Rai's comments. She went ahead and said the party's stand is very clear, but that there should be decisive action soon. Rahul Gandhi last week repeatedly said we stand with the forces, we are with the government on whatever action they take against Pakistan. This is what the Gandhis say. But then you have their leaders, Congress netas, senior leaders at that, making all sorts of comments right after.
The Congress party has in their CWC given a statement. We all stand by that statement, and that is the official statement of the Congress party. That statement clearly says that we support whatever action the government is going to take. In fact, we urge the government to take very strong, decisive action and to take it fast.
हमने क्लियरली ऑपोजिशन की और सरकार की मीटिंग में क्लियर हमने लाइन दी है, यूनानिमस लाइन, कि जो हुआ है एक्सेप्टेबल नहीं है. और पूरा का पूरा ऑपोजिशन 100% सपोर्ट सरकार को देगा और दे रहा है.
Not the time clearly for politics. It's unfortunate you see these kind of controversial comments coming in against the government, against the country, saying, you know, why hasn't action been taken just yet? And what happens from that is it feeds into Pakistan's narrative, which is why Pakistani media has actually picked up what Ajay Rai has said. We will continue tracking all the reactions, but let's move on and focus on the investigation into the Pahalgam terror attack. overground workers, OGWs. We've been reporting from day one of the crackdown against these OGWs. They're essentially people locally set up in the area who help foreign terrorists. In this case, locals in Kashmir who are helping Pakistani terrorists. There's no doubt that they were involved in the Pahalgam terror attack too. That's been confirmed by our sources repeatedly. Now add to it, we've now tracked down an overground worker or someone who used to work with the Lashkar-e-Toiba, gave up that particular role. We spoke to him to understand exactly how these OGWs work. What is their role in carrying out a terror attack? How do they actually help Pakistani terrorists, their handlers in Pakistan? How do they get brainwashed into helping Pakistani terrorists? We've spoken about all of that to this one man. We won't reveal his identity for obvious reasons. He was, in fact, an OGW, an overground worker with Lashkar-e-Toiba, has switched over, expresses regret, as you'll hear, over what he had done, but gives great amount of detail of exactly how they help these terrorists and how even now the Pahalgam terrorists are perhaps using their OGWs, the overground workers in Kashmir, to ensure they're not caught by our forces.
जो मिलिटेंट भी जो बोलता है उस बंदे को करना है तो वो बंदा किसी भी हालत में वो करना चाहिए। कश्मीर के जो नौजवान हैं ये भी चाहते हैं कि हम मिलिटेंटों के साथ काम करें, हमारा खून उनके लिए लगे। हम कश्मीरी OGW जो भी है कश्मीरी सब यूथ ये भी यही चाहते हैं कि मिलिटेंट को मतलब कि एक तो इसको प्रोटेक्ट करना और दूसरा इसको किसी भी जगह पे सेफ रखना या खाना वगैरह पहुंचाना, मतलब कि इन शॉर्ट अगर बोला जाए कि इसको प्रोटेक्ट करना।
क्या आपको बोलते थे BBM चैट में कि आप आतंकवादी के साथ काम करने को तैयार हो गए? क्या बोलते थे, क्या बातचीत होती थी?
यही सर कि अगर हम निकल गए, मैं भी आपके साथ मतलब कि कल तक था, हम तो साथ में थे, मुझे कौन सी मजबूरी थी निकलने की, गन उठाने की, मुझे कौन सी मजबूरी थी? ऐसे ही बोलते थे, ऐसे ही माइंड वॉश करते थे कि अगर मैं भी आपकी तरफ ऐशो आराम की ज़िंदगी गुजारता था तो मुझे क्या मजबूरी थी गन उठाने की।
अब आज की डेट में क्या लगता है वो गलत था? क्या लगता है
सर? 110% वो गलत था। अगर आज मैं देखता हूँ तो मैं ये बोलता हूँ कि मैं उस टाइम बचा ही क्यों, क्योंकि जो मैंने किया उस टाइम मिलिटेंटों के साथ जो मैंने काम किए हैं वो मैं आज मतलब बहुत शर्मिंदा हूँ उस पर।
आपके कितने दोस्त अभी OGW हैं और कितने टेररिस्ट बन चुके हैं?
सर टेररिस्ट की अगर बात करेंगे तो वो भी ऑन ग्राउंड में 2 टेररिस्ट है अभी भी। तो न्यूट्रलाइज की अगर बात करेंगे सर लगभग अप्रॉक्स 13-14।
पहलगाम में जो ये टेररिस्ट अटैक हुआ, आपको क्या लगता है कि ये ओवरग्राउंड वर्कर का इसमें हाथ हो सकता है?
सर ओवरग्राउंड वर्कर के बगैर तो ये काम हो ही नहीं सकता है अगर देखा जाएगा। देखो सर, अगर मुझे यहाँ अगर मुझे सर यहाँ पे श्रीनगर में मानो कि अटैक करना होगा, सर मैं ऐसे थोड़ी ना जा सकता हूँ। मुझे क्या पता वहाँ पर उस टाइम फौज होगी या कोई और होगा, मैं मत वहाँ पे अटैक करने से पहले ही मत मारा जाऊंगा। ये तो सर ये जो खबर देता है कि नहीं इस टाइम यहाँ पे फौज नहीं है, इस टाइम यहाँ पे हालात ठीक है, इस टाइम यहाँ पे अच्छा मौका है अटैक करने का, तो तब ही वो हो सकता है। तो वो विद द हेल्प ऑफ OGW, सीधी सी बात है सर, OGW के बगैर ये काम नहीं हो सकता।
अच्छा, मतलब बैरसन घाटी में जो टूरिस्ट होंगे तो उसकी इंफॉर्मेशन OGW देगा?
जी सर, मेरे ख्याल से OGW का काम है ये। मेरे हिसाब से अगर बात करेंगे तो लगभग 5-6 OGW उस टाइम वहाँ पर मिलिटेंटों के साथ होंगे और वो उनको इन्फॉर्म भी करते हैं कि यहाँ पर ऐसा ऐसा होगा।
तो वो तो पाकिस्तानी टेररिस्ट हैं, कैसे OGW के कांटेक्ट में आए होंगे? किसी दूसरे के थ्रू?
जी सर, जैसे मैंने बोला वैसे ही उनको ऑलरेडी उनके साथ कांटेक्ट होगा। तो सर ये ऐसे ही उन्होंने इनको पहले अगर देखा जाएगा, इन्होंने पहले 1 महीना पहले इन्होंने मशवरा किया, प्लानिंग की होगी कि कैसे कब किस टाइम पे हमको अटैक करना है।
It's shocking, really, that this kind of local support is given to Pakistani terrorists and how Pakistan continues to brainwash a handful of Kashmiris to join this kind of active terror planning. Now, one suspected OGW, an overground worker belonging to the Lashkar, was also nabbed in Jammu and Kashmir. Subsequently died. This is footage of a 23-year-old man who was picked up by the police, who allegedly drowned while escaping police custody. What you see in the footage is him running and then jumping into the river. This has sparked widespread outrage. Why? Well, the man you see on your screens there is Imtiaz Ahmed. He allegedly drowned after being taken into police custody, ran away from the police, bid to escape, and then suddenly jumped into the river himself. Now, according to police sources, Imtiaz, this 23-year-old man, confessed to having knowledge of a Lashkar hideout. So he was being taken to the location that he had identified. And that's when, according to the police, he jumped into a stream while attempting to escape. And unfortunately, he died because of the currents in the water. But his family has a different story to tell. They are maintaining that this was a custodial death, that Imtiaz was tortured and died in custody. But you see in the footage there him jumping into the water. And as expected, the politics in Kashmir peaking over this. Mehbooba Mufti immediately coming out to question the government, to question the police, saying that innocent people of the valley are being targeted.
कुछ दिन पहले 2 दिन पहले इसको उठा के ले गए जो भी पार्टी थी और फिर घर वाले भी गए किसी कैंप में था ये भी बाग वहाँ पे उससे बात की है और उन्होंने कहा हम इसको छोड़ देंगे लेकिन आज सुबह जब लोग उठे तो उनको इन्फॉर्म किया गया कि कोई डेड बॉडी जो है वो किसी नाले में है तो मैं समझती हूँ कि ये बदकिस्मती की बात है एक दहशत का माहौल जो है वो पैदा किया जा रहा है
जो बांडीपोरा में हादसा हुआ बहुत गरीब है उनके घर में खाने के लाले बेचारा मिलिटेंट नहीं था आप किसी को भी OGW का नाम देके उसको कत्ल करोगे क्या कल जो आपने इम्तियाज को उधर मार दिया वो भी बहुत गरीब है जब तक आप उसकी इंक्वायरी करेगी कम से कम इन फैमिलीज को कंपनसेशन मिलना चाहिए ये मेरी गुजारिश है बाकी आप मालिक
So a lot of updates that have come in on what's been happening really globally and how India also is continuing to turn up the heat on Pakistan. Let's quickly get you all of those updates. Russian President Vladimir Putin dialed Prime Minister Modi today, extending support to India's fight against terror and ensuring that the butchers of Pahalgam face justice. Amid escalating tensions between India and Pakistan, Prime Minister Modi met with the Defence Secretary Rajesh Kumar Singh in the aftermath of the Pahalgam attack. The meeting came a day after the Prime Minister met Air Chief Marshal Amarpreet Singh separately. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh has issued a strong warning to Pakistan, reiterating that the Prime Minister's stand of India pursuing the terrorists to the ends of the world. Rajnath said under Prime Minister Modi's leadership, terrorists will get retribution. India's diplomatic strikes against Pakistan continue. According to sources, India has now requested the Asian Development Bank, ADB, to discontinue financial support to Pakistan. This comes after India's attempts to get Pakistan back on the FATF grey list. Pakistan in a complete panic, unsure of exactly what India's response is going to look like, has again resorted to the same old rhetoric of nuclear saber rattling. A Pakistan minister now openly has issued a nuclear threat, as irresponsible as it is. He actually is calling for nukes to be used, saying our nukes aren't small firecrackers. This is a Pakistan minister, mind you, who's made this kind of an irresponsible comment. You haven't heard any of this from India. We're ensuring measured responses. And on the other hand, you have Pakistan completely scared, running helter-skelter, not sure of really which way this is going to go, not sure of how India is going to strike, now resorting to issuing nuclear threats as well. Listen in.
सारी इस दुनिया पे हमारा ये एतमाद ईमान है कि भाई हमें तो एक दिन मरना है, मरने के बाद अगर जो है वो नरेंद्र मोदी हमें जन्नत देता है तो इससे अच्छी और क्या बात होगी, इससे अच्छी और क्या बात होगी। और फिर मैं बिल्कुल वजीर दिफा के इस बयान की मन तायद करता हूं कि भाई ये जो हमने न्यूक्लियर एसिड बना रखे हैं ये शबरात पर पटाखे फोड़ने के लिए बना रखे हैं। मरने के बाद तो हमारी जिंदगी शुरू होती है। हाँ, हम गुनाहगार लोग हैं, हमारा ईमान अभी जो है वो उस काबिल नहीं है, हम जो है वो अपने उल्टे सीधे चक्करों में लगे हुए हैं। लेकिन जब क्राइसिस आ जाए हमारे ऊपर तो अल्लाह ताला फिर ईमान भी उस लेवल का दे देगा ना। तो भाई मैं तो ये फौज को कहता हूँ कि इनको जो ये इंडियन आर्मियों को अंदर आने दो, शहरों में आने दो, हट जाओ जरा, इनके बोलो कोई नहीं है बॉर्डरों पे, और ये अंदर आ जाए, इनको अंदर आने दो। ये 25 करोड़ लोग हैं, ये सारा हमारा निजाम है, इंशाल्लाह ताला जो है जाएगा कोई वापस नहीं। तो ये जो ये धमकियां, ये बातें जो है वो ये किसी और को देना। भारत के पास अभी लूज करने के लिए बहुत कुछ है।
Absolutely bizarre, loose, irresponsible statements coming in from Pakistan. But then again, we've been hearing this for the last many days. Why? Because Pakistan is ensuring that they keep everything ready, unsure of what India's response over the Pahalgam terror attack is going to be. And so you see these kind of comments coming in from ministers in the Pakistan cabinet. We're going to continue getting you all those updates. Let's round up for you all the big stories of the day. Rahul Gandhi finds himself in the midst of a controversy over his remarks during a Q&A session that took place at a university in America. A student brought up the 1984 anti-Sikh riots and Congress leaders' roles in those riots. Rahul Gandhi, immediately then responding to it, acknowledged the Congress's historical wrongdoings, and then also, in what seemingly was an admission, claimed he was happy to take responsibility for everything that the Congress party has ever done wrong, saying that I'll take responsibility even for actions that occurred before my political career began. Now, there's been a political back and forth over these comments, the BJP accusing Rahul Gandhi of offering a hollow symbolism instead of genuine accountability. But I want you to listen to that exchange with Rahul Gandhi, the question that was asked, what he said about accountability, and the reactions that have come in right after.
In your last visit to the USA, you made a tweet speaking directly to Sikhs in India and abroad. And in that, you talk about what India under the BJP would look like, where you ask, will you be allowed to wear gaddas? Would you allowed to be wear turbans under the BJP? So you create a fear amongst the Sikhs about what the BJP would look like. But you talked about how politics should be fearless. There should be nothing to be afraid of, right? But we don't just want to wear gaddas. We don't just want to tie our turbans. We want freedom of expression, which under the Congress party in the past has not been allowed. For example, the Anandpur Sahib resolution, which you're probably familiar with, talks about these Dalit rights, right? Rights of water. It talks about better working conditions, anti-monopoly. It mentions nothing of separatism, but it's labeled as a separatist document. This is something your party has done, and your party seems to lack the maturity to accept the mistakes it has made, such as Sajjan Kumar just now being tried. And there's many more Sajjan Kumars currently sitting in the Congress party. You haven't tried to reconcile with the Sikhs. What attempts are you making?
राहुल गांधी विदेशी धरती पर जाकर भारत की संस्थाओं पर सवाल खड़े करते हैं। एक बार जाकर कहते हैं कि भारत में सिखों को पगड़ी पहनने का अधिकार नहीं, कड़ा पहनने का अधिकार नहीं। तो एक सिख युवक ने ही बताया कि ये अधिकार आज तो है, परंतु उनकी जो सरकारें रही है उस समय पर जो सिखों पर हमले हुए, अत्याचार हुए, नरसंहार हुआ, उसको कभी भूलना नहीं चाहिए राहुल गांधी को।
आज भी राहुल गांधी इस बात को मानने को तैयार नहीं है कि गलत हुआ था। आज वो ये मानने को तैयार नहीं कि उनके पिताजी ने जो बेकसूर सिखों का कत्लेआम कराया और फिर कहा जो बड़ा पेड़ गिरता है तो धरती हिलती है, उस पर एक बार अभी भी वो माफी मांगने को तैयार नहीं है। और तो और हमारे सिखों के जो बड़े कत्लेआम करने वाले लोग हैं, सज्जन कुमार, जगदीश टाइटर, HKL भगत, कमलनाथ, ये लोग हमेशा कांग्रेस में रहे और आज भी सजा याफ्ता होने के बावजूद कांग्रेस में हैं। राहुल गांधी ने एक बार भी स्पष्टीकरण नहीं दिया जब उस नौजवान ने पूछा कि इनको पार्टी से बाहर क्यों नहीं निकालते। बड़ा स्पष्ट है, राहुल गांधी, गांधी परिवार सिखों का दुश्मन था, है और रहेगा। हमारे प्रति जो उसके अंदर नफरत है, जो उसने एक बार कहा था मुझे बहुत गुस्सा था सिखों पे, आज भी उसकी नफरत वहीं बरकरार है। ये वीडियो स्पष्ट करती है।
वे कह रहे मैंने रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी ली तो तुरंत टाइटलर और कमलनाथ को पार्टी से बाहर निकालें। जो 1980 के दशक में जब 1900
Okay, we're cutting across to breaking news that's coming in. Sources telling us here on India Today that the MHA, the Ministry of Home Affairs, has asked several states to now conduct mock drills. And this is for civil defense from 7th May. That is in 2 days from now. All steps are being taken to ensure mock drills are conducted across the country. So what exactly are we talking about? What kind of drills? Operationalization of air raid warning sirens training of civilians, of students on civil defense aspects to protect themselves in the event of a hostile attack, to ensure provision of crash blackout measures, and also ensuring camouflaging of vital installations. Now, what we're also hearing from our sources in the MHA is that as part of this mock drill, all evacuation plans will be tested, to update it, to also rehearse these evacuation plans. Big breaking news that's coming in right now, as these safety mock drills will be conducted in 2 days from now across the country. Piyush Mishra is joining us with more details on this. Piyush, we understand a slew of measures have been announced by the MHA for all states to follow. These will be mock drills to ensure we're fully ready.
Absolutely, Akshita. That's a very big development which we are right now picking from our sources, top government sources in Ministry of Home Affairs. What we are learning is that top 5 measures have been asked by the MHA to various state governments. And let me also read out for the benefit of our viewers, which says these measures have to be taken on the 7th of May. Has now asked 7 state governments to conduct mock drills in 4 items for effective civil defense on 7th May. And these 5 points, Akshita, somewhere suggesting that government is planning for something big, and for that the state governments have been asked to carry out mock drills effectively on May 7, and these 5 measures include operationalization of air raid warning sirens, training of civilians, students on the civil defense aspects to protect themselves in the event of a hostile attack. The MHA is now saying, asking state governments to carry out training programs for civilians, for students, and also for other stakeholders to protect themselves in the event of a hostile attack. This is very big development, and we do this during the time of emergency. Now, the third measure which the Home Ministry is asking state governments to follow is to have a provision of crash blackout measures. So that is also very important point on which the Ministry of Home Affairs is focusing on. And these 5 measures, somewhere suggesting that the government is planning big. Remember that, Akshara, in the last more than 1 week, in fact, around 12 days, PM Narendra Modi has been holding top meetings, crucial meetings with government officials, with government ministers, with secretaries. And as we are speaking, he is still there at the Prime Minister office, and a couple of minutes back he also met with Defense Secretary and Home Secretary, and after that he is chairing some other meeting. So in these, after these meetings, we are picking from the sources within Ministry of Home Affairs is that by May 7 effectively, few training programs have to be carried out, a few measures have to be adopted by state governments, and 5-point measures have been directed to
which
the
you
state
just listed out for us, Piyush. Look, we don't want to speculate on what this means. We're reporting what we're hearing from our sources, which means essentially that the MHA is ensuring everyone's 100% fully prepared. There are contingency measures usually that's kept in case of any eventuality. This is essentially a mock drill that will kick off in 2 days from now to check the effectiveness of those measures, to ensure we're ready for any eventuality. It doesn't mean that any of this is going to happen, but merely, like I said, it's a mock drill to ensure we're fully ready, a rehearsal, if you will. I want to bring in Kamaljeet Sandhu also on this broadcast for more on this. Kamaljeet, we've been seeing a series of meetings taking place in Delhi, many of them chaired by Home Minister Amit Shah, many by Prime Minister Modi as well. This seems to be the government essentially taking stock of our state of preparedness, ensuring we're ready for any eventuality, not just in a few parts, but across the country.
Absolutely, Akshata. Flurry of meetings taking place in Delhi, but meanwhile, Home Ministry asking several states, and this is in particular those who share international border and line of control, so from Kashmir to about Rajasthan, more so to conduct and carry out mock drills, especially when you talk about organizational of air raids, warning sirens. We've seen training of civilian students, and recently we saw visuals coming in from Uri. Then in Firozpur also we saw a sort of a blackout being practiced. So this is a provision of crash blackout measures, provision of early camouflaging of vital plants and installations, and obviously updation of evacuation plan and its rehearsal. So this is a measure which is being put in place, and more so for the northern states which actually share border with Pakistan. And this is where it's all about preparedness. We do not anticipate what sort of an action could happen in the next few days, but definitely as far as Home Ministry is concerned. They're not taking any sort of a chance. And that is why that directive actually has gone on to all states. And as I mentioned to you, more so with those states which share border with Pakistan, to ensure that they have a sort of preparedness. And we've seen in the past few days, some of the states have suo moto conducted those particular sort of a drills.
Okay, Kamalji telling us that particularly states that are bordering Pakistan will be conducting these drills. Let me again list out the 5 measures that essentially will be a part of these mock drills. One is ensuring that air raid warning sirens are operational. Second, ensuring training for civilians, and this is on civil defense aspects, in the event of a hostile attack, how to protect oneself, how to protect your loved ones. Provision of blackout measures. In case we see a complete blackout, immediately your plan B kicks into place. This mock drill is for that. Provision for camouflaging of vital installations, sensitive areas, sensitive plants, installations, all of that to immediately camouflage. And also updation of evacuation plan and its rehearsal. Okay, Lieutenant General Sanjay Kulkarni is joining us on this broadcast. General Kulkarni, good evening. Thank you for joining us this evening. The MHA, sir, has now issued an advisory to states to conduct mock drills. And this is essentially a rehearsal, if you will. Can you take us through really what this means, General Kulkarni? Because there will be a lot of questions. Does this mean India is planning some sort of step, or is this routine process protocol?
No, what happens is, in case if the situation might get out of hand, in case the situation is so tense that Pakistan does do something, stupid, absolutely. Therefore, these mock drills are essential. If you are, I know none of you would recollect, but at least I do, the 1965 war, how things would, how we would put carbon papers and glasses and no lights would step out, trenches being made elsewhere, the sirens being blown to ensure that if there were any air raids attack. Similarly, 65, 71, and now also, if Pakistan does intend preparing for an attack on India, then we would know what to and how to defend ourselves, especially installations which are there, how to go in for blackouts when the sirens are blown, how to totally switch off all the lights so that no light steps goes out of the house. So all these are mock drills which are essential so that in a better wise, and rather than saying that, well, nothing will happen or no bravado-ness, you mustn't underestimate, because Pak's a rogue nation. It has a tremendous nuisance value. It can do anything at any point of time. And therefore, these mock drills and preparations are definitely a good thing to happen so that people are aware of what steps to take should there be an emergency. It's all should there be an emergency and nothing like that. So one mustn't go, there's no panic whatsoever, but just an advisory. Should something of this kind happen, we should be prepared for it.
That's a very, very important message. General Kulkarni, I appreciate you taking the time out and joining us with his expertise. So, General Kulkarni explaining to you why there's no reason to panic. This is protocol. This is a mock drill to ensure all of our systems are in place, functioning. And the reason we're doing this is only and only to ensure we're fully prepared, fully ready in case Pakistan decides to resort to some sort of rogue activity. India is 100% prepared. So at this point, it's only a mock drill that's being conducted. Absolutely no reason to panic. And before I wrap up this broadcast, a quick news break that's coming in from our anti-fake news war room on a video that's doing the rounds on social media. We wanted to fact check it quickly because it's being shared widely right now. A video of a scuffle that's now being showed as something that happened after the Pahalgam attack. The claim is that this is a fight between locals in Kashmir with Indian Army soldiers, and this was a scuffle right after the Pahalgam attack. So this is a video that we immediately fact-check, and what we found when processing it through our rigorous checks is that this is actually a 2022 video. 3 years later, it's surfacing to claim it's happened after the Pahalgam attack. The reality is that this actually is a 2022 video from Srinagar, which happened much, much before the Pahalgam terror attack. So that's why I don't believe everything you see on social media. Here on India Today, we strive to ensure we separate fact from fake. That's all we have time for in this edition of Super 6. Thanks very much for tuning in.